and welcome to ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon. The American Cancer Society is dedicated to saving lives, prevention, education, patient services, advocacy, and research. Across the country, supporters organize Relay for Life events to raise funds to help the Cancer Society achieve its goals. The Oxford Lake Orion Relay for Life is scheduled to take place May 31st to June 1st, and organizers hosted a kickoff event on March 13th. After years of hosting separate events, Oxford and Lake Orion joined forces in 2011 to host one massive event. Last year, the Oxford Orion Relay for Life raised over $100,000. On Thursday, March 13th, organizers and team members met in Oxford to kick off this year's fundraising efforts. The goal? $110,000.
Well, money is raised through grassroots. It's people out there knocking on doors, asking friends and family, raising funds online, and it's used in a variety of ways. The American Cancer Society has a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-227-2345. It provides programs and services for cancer patients and individuals who maybe need a ride to cancer treatment or need to know how to tie a turban. We have a Look Good, Feel Better program that teaches women how to draw their eyebrows on, things that we don't even think about. Cancer research is, we've funded numerous breakthroughs in cancer research, and that's where the money goes. It's all being used in your communities, it's being used locally and statewide.
At the kickoff event in Oxford, committee members were introduced, survivors and caregivers were recognized, and loved ones lost to cancer were remembered during a luminary ceremony. On May 31st, dozens of teams will assemble at Friendship Park in Orion Township for the start of the event. During the 24-hour period, at least one member of each team must remain on the path. Throughout the event, there will be music, games, and raffles. The goal is to raise as much money as possible to help the American Cancer Society battle the disease in all of its forms.
Everyone should get involved with Relay for the simple reason we need a cure, and we need it now. There's people still dying of this disease. Sure, there's a lot more survivors, but even one death is too many. We need the cure, and the only way we're going to get a cure is if people participate and get contributions for the American Cancer Society.
Well, actually, this is my very first year with Relay for Life. Yes, I'm actually coming on the committee, and I'm also fundraising with a team through my company. It's called Brewing a Cure. My reason for getting involved is actually because I've been directly affected. I lost my grandma to cancer. I lost my dad to cancer. I have many family and friends that have also lost loved ones as well. My honestly expectation is to see all these new people, survivors, bring hope back to people that have probably been affected, and get their families involved to show them that there is a chance.
If you missed the kickoff event, don't worry, there's still time to register your team. As a matter of fact, teams can register right up until the week of the event. Just visit relayforlife.org/Oxford Lake Orion MI for more information, or contact Rachel Lees at rachel.lees@cancer.org. Oftentimes, when someone craves a cup of coffee, they'll resort to one of many national franchises. But the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce urges you to try Lake Orion's newest business, Crates Coffee House, which recently celebrated its grand opening.
All right, ready?
Representatives of the Chamber of Commerce gathered at Crates Coffee House on M24 to welcome the locally owned business to the community. Owned by Brian and Andrea Rank of Oxford, the business quietly opened its doors on January 16th, but celebrated its official grand opening on Tuesday, March 11th.
The Chamber has been absolutely wonderful. We couldn't do half of it without them. It's been a blessing having them by our side and help promoting us and getting the word out for us.
It's been Andrea's dream since she was about 18 to open her own business. She's held a wide variety of jobs, mostly in customer service, before making her dream come true. Should the M24 location prove to be popular, she hopes to open more locations in the future.
We have a great product, but on top of that, we have wonderful staff, wonderful space, and the ability to tailor the space for anybody's needs for the community. We have all specialty coffees, espresso based, but we also do smoothies, hot chocolates. We have a very big assorted of teas, hot teas, along with iced teas. And then we have pastries right now with Great Harvest. We've teamed up with them, along with our milk supply is coming from Hollywood. So we're trying to keep the business local as well.
Crate's Coffee House is open until 10 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday and 7 p.m. on Sundays and Mondays. For more information, visit their Facebook page or give them a call at 248-690-7607. In November of 2013, the Orion Township Public Library's Youth Services Department selected 14 books and challenged teams of 5th graders to read them all. The teams were quizzed during this year's Battle of the Books, and ONTV's Joe Johnson was there at the event.
Question number 1. In which book do we find a special magic that makes things grow?
On Saturday, March 15th, 241 fifth graders formed 53 teams to compete in the 29th Battle of the Books. The students represented 7 Lake Orion elementary schools and St. Joseph's School. Beginning in November, the students were challenged to read 14 books representing a wide variety of genres. On Saturday, the teams assembled at Scripps Middle School, most dressed in wild and colorful costumes. Library staff took turns reading a total of 50 questions or quotes, and each team had to come up with the book's title and author.
I am seeing kids that love to read or are rediscovering that they love to read, and it just thrills me.
Well, I hope that they have the camaraderie of working together towards being a team and learning from each other, but I also hope that they can inspire themselves to continue reading. It doesn't matter what they read. One thing I love about the battle is that the staff pick books from a variety of genres. We've got nonfiction, poetry, fiction, fantasy, and so there's something in that group that they're going to love, and hopefully they discovered something new. Maybe they discovered something that they've never read before, and I hope that that continues as they go forth.
Library staff will tally up the scores, and a winning team will be announced at a ceremony at Lake Orion High School. From Scripps Middle School, I'm Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joe. On our next edition of ONTV News, we'll bring you highlights of the award ceremony where the winning team was announced, and photographer and illustrator Rick Leader spoke to the participants. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go away because when we come back, we will have a story that will blow your mind. You're watching ONTV News. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Sean Belligeum from Fox 2 and State Champs, and when I am in Lake Orion, I do not miss Between Terraminas. You want to know what's going on locally? How about that Lake Orion hockey team? They've got quite the program going. Go check out Between Terraminas.
Celebrate the arrival of spring and hop on over to the Orion Center on Saturday, March 29th for the 2014 Bunny Bop. Bring a basket to hunt for eggs filled with candy and prizes. Families can enjoy a pancake breakfast or create fun craft projects. And of course, the Easter Bunny will be there for a special photo opportunity. The family-friendly fun starts at 10 a.m. Pre-registration is required. For more information, visit oriontownship.org or call 248-391-0304, extension 305.
Welcome back to ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon. Lake Orion has many successful alumni, with the most recent being artists Brad Lawrence and Michael Zach of BL Visuals. I caught up with the dynamic duo in their studio last week to get an inside look on how their mind-blowing art is made. Ultraviolet art has hit the Motor City and is taking the electronic music scene by storm. When artist Brad Lawrence was diagnosed with tendinitis, his passion for drawing could have crumbled. Instead, he said his disability inspired him to get a little creative.
Like I used to look down at my arm that hurt, and it was like saddening. You know, you see this kind of big scar tissue on your arm, and now it's like I look down and they're painted, and it just makes me smile. This is like my body armor, you know.
As he built his team of innovative warriors, Lawrence enlisted the help of his friend Corporal Michael Zach, a U.S. Marine that had to retire after he suffered a gunshot wound in Afghanistan.
Being in the military is very different than having a civilian job. And I see a lot of civilian managers doing their own thing at like different places I go to, and then I knew I had to do something bigger, and Brad had the idea.
We pretty much want to paint the world. We want to paint everything, belts, pants, capes, dresses, anything, flags. We want to paint everything, you know. We want to spread our designs to everything, phone cases, you name it, we just want to paint it.
To get these psychedelic designs onto apparel and other items, Lawrence says he borrowed a page from age-old paper-making techniques, originally used for bookbinding.
So I just kind of sort of rediscovered this about 4 years ago and started making my own paper with it, but combining it with fluorescent pigments and black lights, 3D glasses, color-changing lights, everything, just really exploring modern technologies and developments, how it applied to this age-old technique. And then I just fell in love with being able to loosen up because I did such realistic drawings. I could loosen up and just be free with this process. And then while doing that, then I started realizing, like, oh man, I can transfer this to shirts. I can, oh man, it works on my skin. And then you start dreaming up ways to apply that, ways to, propose it to a festival and say, hey, I can come and make your whole attendance part of the show. You know, I can make them all performers.
Lawrence noted that while the design might fade a little over time, the colors hold up after repeated washing. But when applied to the skin, the effect is temporary. Ready? I do feel like I'm an avatar. Am I an honorary member?
Yeah.
My initiation process?
Everybody that we paint, they're family members.
Oh, nice. This is very cool. Now, if you're worried your party paint won't wash off by the next morning, not to worry. The guys at BL Visuals told us that if you loosely scrub your body with soap and water, it should wash right off. With concert season rapidly approaching, the duo says their main focus is spreading their art with electronic music lovers across the country.
Our major goal is to go to these different festivals so that we can paint in front of people, show them the process, show them how magical it is when we're making the products that we do sell them. That way the product ends up becoming more of an artifact of that experience rather than just a product.
And what do you think the motto is for BL Visuals, if you guys could come up with one?
Blow minds. That's easy. That's one we always go with. We blow everybody's minds. Yep, paint the world and blow minds.
Reporting in Clarkston, I'm Kayla Brandon for ONTV News. The racing season got underway on Saturday, March 8th, and we don't mean NASCAR. The Cub Scouts of Pack 512 held their annual Pinewood Derby race at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church on Baldwin Road. The Scouts and their families have been working on their racers for the past 4 weeks, perfecting the designs and maximizing their speed for a shot at Pinewood glory. Racers were competing for fastest car in their scout group, design, and overall pack champion. The youngest racers, the Cubs, took to the track first. The top car in this group was designed to resemble a wedge of cheese. The Wolves were the largest group to compete, and each racer had 6 races to determine who the top speed king was. Midway through the race, 4 cars separated themselves from the rest of the pack and would eventually move on to the championship finals. 2 other cars would make the cut from the Cubs and the Bears to face off in the championship round. This Pinewood Derby was a mixture of low and high-tech cars. All cars were created out of a wood block of pine and had to meet precise design measurements. All timing was done electronically with times clocked to the thousandth of a second. All race results were stored in a computer and tallied to determine the fastest cars. The overall champion for Pack 512 was Wolf Jack McConaughey. His red, white, and blue striped car was sleek, fast, and averaging about 2.66 seconds per race. Top prizes for best design and most scout-like were also awarded. The top bear was Austin Russell, and the top wolf was Carson Womack. Trophies were awarded for first place through 5th place. Congratulations to all of the racers and this year's champions. We here at ONTV celebrated a milestone this month. 20 years ago, Lake Orion's first community newscast debuted on cable channel 65 on March 11, 1994. Thanks to a grant from the Orion Cable Commission, News 65 premiered with Joe Johnson and Lori St. Germain behind the news desk. The first story on that newscast featured the Lake Orion School Board meeting. At that meeting, parents urged the board to hold a bond election to build a new elementary school. That school would eventually become Orion Oaks Elementary. It was also reported that Orion Township board meetings began airing live on the Government Access Channel for the first time. Access Board Chairman Larry DeRicky talked about how televising the meetings affected board members.
For one thing, the first thing we've seen so far is an impact on the council members themselves. They've seen themselves now, from the tapes and that. They're aware that they're on stage, and I don't mean that negatively. I mean the fact that we notice that they dress a little sharper. They seem to be a little more alert to each other, and so forth, and they seem to be a little more prepared to debate and be communicative with the people that come to attend the meeting.
Other stories included the Cancer Society's Great American Lockup, the Orion Art Center's Student Art Show, and the 9th Annual Battle of the Books, which was held at the Orion Library and was won by the team representing Pine Tree Elementary.
It wasn't really hard. We practiced a lot. First of all, I didn't know the tables were so close, and the questions weren't as hard as I thought they would be.
Well, it was very nerve-wracking. It taught me that I can read more books than I usually do.
It was fun, and it got me to read more books.
Well, before this, I didn't usually like to read, and after this, I'm every day I want to read a chapter of a book or something.
I've learned that there are different kinds of books, and some of them are better than others, and that just because it's science fiction doesn't mean that a girl can't read it and stuff.
News 65 aired until the year 2000, when major changes took place at the studio. Eventually, the newscast was relaunched as ONTV News. And that wraps up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the entire crew, thanks for watching.